yourself here?
Yeah, please high end. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is Monday, August 26th, and humid out today, right? I'll tell you all about that in just a moment. On our show today, Lynn Jarrett will be here from Third Mutual, and she's got all kinds of things to talk about, different topics, and they just had their Meet the Candidates, so we'll go over all kinds of different things. Now, coming up, Concerned Citizens will be having their meeting. Jonathan Adler will be here today and tell you about their special guests that is coming on for their meeting. I think it's, I don't have it right in front of me, but I believe it's September 3rd. But their guest is Manho Mate he's a UCI law professor, and he's been one of their guests before, so we'll tell you all about that. Then we have someone on from the Ocean Institute. You know, the Tall Ships Festival is coming up in a couple weeks. I think it's September 6th, 7th, and 8th. She's going to go over a little bit more of the events that are going to be involved there at the Ocean Institute in that wonderful festival. And we're going to bring you a segment from RadNet. Now, as far as meetings go today, Third has their architectural controls meeting. That will be in the boardroom at 9:30. And then GRF has their security and community access also in the boardroom at 1:30. Now, let's get to the weather. And boy, it's humid out there. I can tell you this morning that when I looked at the time, the temperature and the humidity at about, I don't know, it was about 6 o'clock this morning, we were already at 68 degrees and 64% humidity. Why? Well, that tropical system I told you about last week, that was a hurricane. It's no longer a hurricane. It's called Ivo, I think that's the name of the system. And it's moved up, and it's just a tropical system right now. But it has really moved up to Southern California area, you know, off the coast. So therefore, it's bringing all this humidity with us, some scattered clouds out there, and for you surfers, higher surf over the next couple days. So this will probably dissipate pretty much by the end of today into tomorrow. I think football is here. Yes, it is. I think we'll have some humidity tomorrow. Certainly not as bad as today. As we go forward, you can see the temperatures go down a little bit. Then as we get to next weekend, which is of course the Labor Day weekend, we'll be going back up in temperature. I don't think we'll have the humidity though. So anyway, if you like it, if you like this sort of tropical system out there, you will love today. And again, you know, maybe tomorrow, I think the humidity will be there, but not as strong as it was today and not as warm. Let's look around the area, and of course we've got some warm temperatures. Now the good thing is the beaches have really been staying relatively cool. They've been staying in the mid to upper 70s, so that's been cooling us off a lot at night, and that is great news. Everywhere else though, you can see we're hitting in the mid to upper 80s, mid 80s up in Arrowhead. Orange County, everything in the upper 80s to low 90s. Palm Springs, 109. So we'll go down a little bit, but then go back up as we reach Friday and the weekend. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Trust the experts at Universal Carpet for all your flooring needs. Now get 50% off pet stain resistant and hyperallergenic carpet, porcelain tile, wood laminate and waterproof flooring, and complete kitchen and bath remodels. Plus get 5-year 0% financing, including free installation and free furniture removal. Our convenient showrooms are just minutes away in Irvine and Huntington Beach, or call 866-402-2747 for our free in-home shopping service. Universal Carpet, the low price leader for over 20 years.
I just love that ring. Where'd you get it?
I got it at the jewelry box. I saw it on Facebook, and then I went in and bought it. They have the most unique, awesome pre-owned pieces for amazing prices.
The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest, voted best jewelry store in Orange County for 8 straight years, offering unmatched prices on fine jewelry and watches, refurbished to new condition.
Visit us in our store or shop our website for just arrived items.
The Jewelry Box. It's about trust.
Dr. Farman Cosmetic and Implant Dentistry is located right outside Gate 6 and has been keeping the village smiling for many years.
I trust Dr. Farman with all my dental procedures and all my dental work. Thank goodness I found Dr. Farman.
We have been serving the community of Laguna Woods for almost 20 years now. Come and visit us at Brilliant Smile for all your dental needs.
We are close to Gate 6, near Snooty Fox Restaurant, behind Coco's.
Individual care, specialized care. At Harvard Eye Associates, your vision and quality of life can be trusted to a group of specialists that provide advanced technology for the treatment of cataracts, including laser-assisted surgery, a broad range of intraocular lenses, and astigmatism correction. Come join the circle of care at Harvard Eye Associates, where the future of vision is today.
As a professional licensed realtor, you have worked countless hours to ensure your reputation is the best. Your clients know they can trust your judgment, that you'll be around when they need you, and that you will deliver what you promise. In escrow, one company has set that same standard for excellence. Escrow Options Group offers more than just outstanding escrow services. White glove concierge services, wire and fraud protection, custom estimates, and more at no extra charge. Choose the company that mirrors your professionalism. Escrow Options Group. Experience a better option of escrow services.
In a land of hopes and dreams lived a luxury lifestyle consultant with spectacular taste. One day he thought, I'll show lottery winners how to live like a millionaire.
I'm like gonna cry. Like, this is beautiful.
Pinch me.
He scoured the land looking for the home of their dreams, which he slayed. So the families could live in plenty and live fabulously ever after.
All new My Lottery Dream Home, Friday night at 9 on HGTV.
At Freedom Village Assisted Living, we provide loving care and support when your loved one needs it most. We believe in laughing more and caring more. Dining will be an experience, not just a meal. We offer opportunities to create new memories. Your family will feel like they are part of our family as we work toward creating an extraordinary difference in lives worth living. To schedule a tour and complimentary lunch and for more information, please call us at 949-340-8108 or visit our website, freedomvillage.org.
And I'd like to welcome back with us today Lynn Jarrett of the Third Board. Great to have you here today.
Thanks. Nice.
It's been a busy couple months, right?
Yes, sure has been.
Yeah, and on Friday we showed the Meet the Candidates for Third.
Right.
And as we were just discussing, it's 4 for 4, right?
Right. It's 4 for 4. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later.
All right.
Right now I'm going to, today I'll give you a Third update on Third's landscape. And I want to talk about some M&C high dollar items we got in the budget, and then I'll end up with the election. First of all, landscaping, as you know, at this time of the year, in this wonderful weather, there's a lot of work going on to catch up after the rains last year and all like that. But we had a very high dollar slope contract signed recently, and boy, we have contractors coming in to do the work. We certainly don't have that kind of staff to do the slopes. In the fire risk area, they started out at the water tower over on Bahia Blanca, and then they went all around Bahia Blanca and worked the slopes there. And that was our highest priority. You know, fire department wanted us to get those slopes cleared off for fire risk. So every slope that needs worked or reworked this year is going to get it done. And because that's one of the biggest complaints we've had in landscaping is the slopes. So we're really working hard on that. And up in gate 14 right now, today when I came down here, I couldn't believe how many workers were on the side of that hill cleaning it up. So they got, the contractors are there, and they've got yellow suits on. They look like little bees up there, cleaning up the slopes. They've really been working hard. And one of the things that they worked on was between the buildings of 4001 and 002, behind the carports, the slope goes up very high and steep.
Right.
And it ends up with where the top of the hill is our buildings 4003, 4, and 5. They cleaned that off, and I don't believe since I've lived here 11 years that slope has ever been cleaned off. The overgrowth was unbelievable. And of course the people they lost their views, and there's people out there trying to cut some of the stuff themselves, the overgrowth. Anyway, it's just amazing how that looks now. It'll never look the same. So Saturday I got a call from a resident. He said, I've never seen anything like this with those slopes being cleared off in Gate 14. That's unbelievable. He said, now can you do something about topping the trees? He said, I'm losing my view. I said, no, we can't top the trees because we don't top trees.
Right.
And especially, we have a resolution against topping trees unless they've been topped before. And the other thing is, a lot of people, they want a view. And if they move in and the trees are young and short and they grow tall, people want those trees, to get rid of the trees. Well, we can't keep doing that. We can't keep cutting the trees just because of the view. So anyway, by the end of June, there were 99 palm trees trimmed and 26 trees trimmed among a lot of the trimming that needed to be done. So next year, the trimming work will be significant because the budget is significant. We didn't have much money in the budget this year for tree trimming, so next year is going to be a lot of tree trimming done. And people are begging for it now. So it is going to be happen. And the trimming is going to be done according to species. Okay. And that's really important because, in our database, Arbor Pro, it shows all the species. And, we have a 5-year plan for trees. That's what's wonderful. That database makes all the difference in the world, how everything is managed with trees. It's unbelievable. So anyway, this past week, last week in 3rd, we passed a resolution to prohibit all vegetables and all fruit tree planting in 3rd. They were, the vegetable planting, we already prohibited that a while back, but people were able to plant dwarf fruit trees, but some of the dwarfs can get 20 feet high.
Right.
But in any case, we had to pass this resolution because of the fact that the rat population throughout the world has exploded. And in Los Angeles, it's really, really bad. And it's coming down through here, and they say a lot of it's caused by homeless people.
Now, let me stop you for a minute. A question on that, on the fruit trees are obvious.
Sure.
But what if somebody, inside their patio has potted tomatoes?
They can still have them, but they're going to be drawing rats.
Okay, but that's okay if it's within their patio. They want to do potted vegetables or whatever.
Well, you know what? I'm not really sure about that because what we did here, we prohibited all fruit trees. But you know what? I'll have to find out about that. But one of the things is that this is going to cause a problem with real estate. Real estate sellers and buyers. They have to know the rules because basically we're going to have to get rid of the fruit trees that are already there. It's going to take years.
Yeah.
We're not going to go in and make people or cut people's fruit trees down that they have now. But when they sell their unit, we're going to go in and we're going to remove the fruit trees. So real estate people will be notified of this resolution once it gets past the 28-day stage. Okay, the other thing is, anyway, like I said, the biggest thing is fighting the rats because we have a lot of big rat problem here. So, we get a lot of complaints about it. So that's why we just have to do something about it. And the fruit,
it's understandable.
Fruits and vegetables, they attract the rodents. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about is landscape modernization.
Okay.
We started that project in Gate 14, cul-de-sac 408. And it's in process right now. They've removed one tree so far, and then they put a fence around the whole area. And soon they'll take that land down to bare. They'll take everything out except the trees that are there, of course. And then they'll plant all the drought-tolerant plants. They'll put the decomposed granite walkways in, a few benches, and it's really going to be beautiful.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
It's really, really going to be beautiful.
Very nice. Yeah.
And for our budget purposes, landscape modernization is going to play a big part because we have to get rid of the grass. The Metropolitan Water Department of Southern California contacted us, and they said the greatest potential for water savings is to get rid of the turf. You've got to replace the unused areas of the grass with drought-tolerant plants. And it's estimated, this recommendation, that we can save a lot of water, and we really, really need to do that because overall, the cost savings towards water and maintenance is going to be significant. So we have this one project this year, and we have more money in the project for next year, and it's going to be a multi-year plan. So every year we're going to be doing what we can as the budget permits to put these drought-tolerant areas in, little plot parks,
yeah,
and everything. It's really, really going to be nice. The 2020 budget is going strong as ever. We are really going to go ahead and do more slope work because every year we have to do slope work no matter what. It takes a lot to maintain the slopes. And of course we'll be doing regular maintenance and the tree maintenance. And the trees, next year we have the big budget for trees. This year we had a minimum budget for tree work. But next year we have a big budget to get rid of a lot of, not rid of a lot of trees, but trimming. Trimming is a really, really big problem.
Yeah,
because the things grow. I'll tell you about trimming. We had some people come in and they wanted us trim right away because they had all these berries. The problem with the berries, however, is they make a mess on the sidewalk. But we have over 300 berry trees in our database.
Wow.
In third. So we can't.
And those are the berries, not the kind you eat, the little red berries or white berries.
They drop and they make a mess and everything. People, they say they want to get rid of them, but it's really impossible because we'd have to take all those trees out.
Yeah.
So we're waiting till next year when we have the money. We're going to do more trimming, and a lot of those will be some of the berry trees too. But it'll be a lot of the trees that need to be trimmed. And like I say, we go by what's in the database. As I told you before, when I was here before, I'm always preaching the water savings. The big key to our water savings is not only getting rid of the grass, but the use of in the residences. We really have, residents have gotten better because I see the water bills. They've gotten better. But even though we're not in a big drought situation, our water budget goes up. It went up 2.2% this July. Next July it's going to be another 4.4%, and every year it's going to go up because not only does the water cost more, but it's the infrastructure that costs a lot of money to replace those pipes. So the other thing we had, just August 10th, we had a mulch day. So landscaping put a bunch of mulch out there in one particular area, in some trucks, and let residents, they announced it in what's up and in the breeze, to come out and get mulch, and a lot of residents did that wanted it for their private.
Yeah, that's good. So it was a
they
good
loved
success.
They loved it.
Very good.
Yeah. One of the things we want to let people know is when you have clippings that need to be picked up, put them out every Friday morning, and they'll get picked up that day.
Okay.
If you need to get them picked up during the week, just call Resident Services and they'll pick up the clippings.
Okay, very good.
Our aeration contract has been signed, and that work will start in October, and the grass will be cut really short, and it's going to be looking pretty ugly for a couple of months. And you know how that happens. But be patient because it's really going to pay off. The aeration is going to make a huge difference, and not only does it save water, but it's good for the grass. It makes the grass grow very nice, really nice. I talked to Kurt Weeman last week, and he told me he's right now starting to experiment with growth regulators. the growth regulators for the grass. For example, they're going to put it around the edges of the, so they can keep the edge of the grass from growing very tall. And that way, because right now, they cut the grass every week, but they trim it edge it only every other week. So they're going to make the edges, they're going to just do experiment in a couple places.
Okay, that's interesting.
And that growth regulator works, that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. And they also can use growth regulators for ornamental trees and that thing. Yeah, it's really nice. And it can slow down the runners, the growth of the runners.
Right.
So that's really nice.
That's my problem at my house.
Is it?
The runners, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they come up. Okay. In M&C, I just wanted to mention M&C, we just finished our budget. It was just unbelievable, a lot of work. Staff put in so much work, and all the board members. And it was just really amazing how people get together and work and make this thing happen every year. And this is the first year I was involved and got to see it firsthand, because in my career I had to work on budgets, so I was very aware of how they operate. But some of our larger dollar issues in M&C's, the prior to paint program, which includes dry rot and deck repairs, the painting program, waistline remediation, which is huge. It's absolutely huge. They did the first
it's a big project.
Yeah, they did a 3-story building, the first LH21. I think they started at the beginning of June, and it's about a 6 to 9 week project. I think that one took a couple more weeks because they ran into some problems they didn't anticipate, because the original engineering drawings for that building weren't accurate. So because they weren't accurate, they ran into problems, but they made it happen. So they've got a good start on the LH21 3-story buildings. Next year, they plan to do 6 3-story buildings with the mediation program. Very, very costly. So we still have a lot of dry rot. And then the big lighting program we've got going on for budget next year, it's a big dollar item. And that second pilot for lighting will start up pretty soon.
Okay, you're talking about the street lighting?
Street lighting,
okay.
Street lighting. They're making a big plan for that. And then the elevator replacement program and the building structure repairs and roofing, those are big, big dollar items. So I just wanted to kind of go by that with you. The cul-de-sac signs are finished, so that was really good. Now, with the election, excuse me, I wanted to talk to you about the election. The 4 candidates that we have running are incumbents Steve Parsons and Kush Bada. And we have 2 new candidates, Craig Wayne and Ralph Engdahl. Ralph now, he serves on the VMS board, so we know Ralph.
Right.
So, and Craig has sit in on a lot of meetings. We've seen him in the audience quite a lot the past year. So these 4 people are running for 4 positions, and we wish we didn't have to have an election, but the state law demands that we have to have an election. So we're going to have it, but it's really important for the people to vote, because if we don't get a quorum, we're going to have a vote again, and each election costs us $20,000, which is a shame when you have the same amount of candidates for the same amount of positions. So we had to meet the candidates Friday. We met them, talked to them, and then their candidate statements are going to be around here on TV6 this week on the 27th and 29th. So watch for those candidate statements. The ballots go out on the 28th, and they're due back at 11 a.m. on September the 26th. They'll be counted by the inspectors on the 27th, and the new board members will be installed at the annual board meeting on October the 2nd at 9:30 a.m., and residents are invited.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Lots of stuff.
I know, it's a lot going on.
And again, the importance of people voting. Even though it's 4
very,
for 4.
very important. Yeah. Very important.
Yeah.
Nice seeing you again, Ken.
Good
Thank
to see
you.
you. Thank you
Nice
for coming on. I appreciate that. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Did you know that we are living longer, healthier lives than ever before?
And did you know that social interaction, brain stimulation, and exercise improve your quality of life? Did you know the Saddleback College Emeritus Institute offers 200 tuition-free classes to older adults in South Orange County? With over 30-plus locations between Lake Forest and San Clemente, it has never been easier to take advantage of your third act of life. Sign up today.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
So, Greg, it's a lot to take in.
And I know that's hard to hear, but the doctors caught it early.
Hi, Blake.
My dad has cancer.
And I know how hard that is to hear. But you're in the right place.
And Dr. Pascal and her team, they know what to do.
They know what to do.
The doctors know what to do.
So here's the plan. First off, we're going to give you all this information.
This one is going to be a challenge for me.
Everything's moving 100 miles an hour.
This is your worst nightmare. Get out! Please, bring your dish forward.
MasterChef. Wednesdays are watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
Being the mayor of Thunder, California is more than just shaking hands and kissing babies. It takes honesty, for example. And honestly, I'm busy today. You've got to be proficient. Flexibility is key. You have to be a voice of good reason. Quail tortellini every time. And I do this why, you ask? So you, the people, can let your funner flag fly!
Welcome back. With me right now from Concerned Citizens is Jonathan Adler, and coming up on September 3rd, which is, boy, it's just next week, they're going to have a really great guest. He's a law professor from UCI. He has been one of their guests before, and Jonathan, this is something that I know over the years you've had people on from UCI. Of course, you've had Erwin Chemerinsky on, you've had people just over the years, and this is sort of your annual sort of a look or take on what's going on with the Supreme Court, right?
Well, we've not just had people on, we've had the top constitutional law professor at UC Irvine Law School, who was Erwin Chemerinsky for the first 9 years. And when he went off to be dean at Berkeley, he left us with his top con law professor to replace him, if he could be replaced at all, to talk about the last term of the Supreme Court, what's really important about it, trends, biggest cases, and how it affects people's lives. And that's why we've been doing this for 12 years now. And
Professor Manjo Mate, he's been with them a couple years now with UCI?
This is, yes, his going into his, I think, third year as a visiting con law professor.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to ask you about, just to clarify, visiting. Does that mean he's just temporary here?
Well,
or how does that work? I was curious about that, just for my own education.
It's sort of like professional basketball teams. They take it a year at a time. You know, if they hire a big star,
I get it.
You never know what's going to happen the next year.
Okay.
So that's a visiting law professor. But Manoj has taught at Harvard, he's taught at UC Berkeley Law School, and our great UC Irvine Law School. He is visiting this year, and again, as he did last year, he's delivering this talk.
Okay. So again, the basis of this, and as you have said before, you know, taking a look at the Supreme Court and a little the background of it, and you know, as it pertains obviously to constitutional law, and just as you've done in the past, right?
As we've done in the past, we will take a look at where the court seems to be going, the most important things it's done, but even more important than that, how it affects, how its decisions affect the political process itself, the election, the campaign process, how the election affects the court, and how the court impacts people's lives. And I must say that when I lined up Erwin to do the Erwin Chemerinsky to do the 2008 first talk, we settled on the title, Impact of the Elections. It was coming up, presidential election.
That's right.
Impact of the election on the Supreme Court and of the court on our lives.
Right.
So that has continued to be an important thing. We think for people to understand whether they're political activists on the left, on the right, ordinary citizens voting in an election, they really should understand how the court affects their lives.
You know what I found interesting, and I with Erwin, because I remember going out to UCI and interviewing him, and I can't remember because I did interview Monjo last year, and I forget his take on this, but I remember Erwin saying his take on it was there should be term limits to Supreme Court, a certain amount of years, and a president should only be able to appoint one, no matter how long they're in office. But I liked his take on that. I don't know if this gentleman has the same take, but I remember discussing that with him.
I don't know either, but I've heard that proposal has come up. I think he proposed 18 years, so they're 9 justices, so that every 2 years a president will get at least one appointment.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
The way it's, regardless, the way it stands now is these are appointments for life.
Yes.
As they are with the lower courts, the Court of Appeal and the district courts. And just getting back to the idea of how the elections affect the court, you'll recall that when Justice Scalia died, which happened to have been on my birthday in February of 2017, that very afternoon, Leader McConnell said that he would not even consider Obama's nominee and didn't for that year. So President Trump got to appoint Justice Gorsuch, who was much like Scalia in his decisions. And then when Justice Kennedy retired at the end of last year in 18, and he was replaced by, nominated by Justice Kavanaugh, and you remember the whole kerfuffle over him and the allegations and the hearings. So Kavanaugh took his position ideologically really at the conservative far end of the court, and that made Roberts basically the swing vote. Kennedy had been the swing vote, and that's why the title for this year's Supreme Court term review is Where Roberts is Taking the Court.
Yes.
And the other interesting point to make about that is that Trump, when he was running, promised to and did essentially farm out to the Federalist Society, which is a conservative law society, the suggestion of nominees for the courts. And he has been filling the courts, and McConnell, who let loose the so-called nuclear bomb, which took away the filibuster for confirming Supreme Court justices and allowed a majority. He's been filling up, McConnell and President Trump, filling up the courts at a great rate in the Court of Appeal and the district courts, as well as the Supreme Court.
Didn't that decision, having the nuclear thing, has nothing to do with nuclear power, by the way, or anything like that?
So-called nuclear
didn't that
option.
happen during the Obama era, or am I wrong?
It happened to some extent for cabinet appointees and lower court appointees. But the filibuster was retained for Supreme Court appointees until McConnell said otherwise.
I want to make sure before we forget that people know September 3rd is next week. It's next Tuesday, believe it or not. And so it's going to be at Clubhouse 7. Doors open at 6:30 and at 7 o'clock.
Actually, I'm rolling that back to 6:15 because we're expecting a big crowd, and we do serve refreshments. We want people to have their opportunity to have their sugarless cookies and their coffee and get settled in the room. So we're opening and all the sugar that they take out of those cookies, they put into other cookies if you like the sugar.
Hey, I want to, before I forget, do people need to RSVP for this or just show up? Okay.
No.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. So this is going to be, an interesting presentation. Will people be allowed to ask questions afterwards?
There's always a very lively Q&A session, usually for at least a half an hour. These audiences, our audiences, are very sophisticated. They know what's going on. So you can bet that there's going to be a lot of talk, both in Professor Mate's talk and in the Q&A, about the big bombshell case that the Supreme Court decided at the end of its last day in June, which took the federal courts completely out of the business of reviewing alleged partisan purpose gerrymandering.
Okay.
That will have a huge impact on our electoral process, which of course decides who the members of Congress are that decide on the important things that directly affect our lives.
Right.
So that the census is coming up next year, 2020.
That's right.
Based on that, there'll be redistricting or reapportionment and gerrymandering in those states that are totally controlled by one party. So that will affect the seats in Congress.
Right.
And it's worth mentioning that the census would have the census issue and citizenship. Remember, there was a big case in the court about whether the Commerce Department Secretary Ross, Census Bureau could ask about citizenship.
Right.
Well, it turned out that kind of didn't turn out to be as big as we thought.
Yeah.
Although it was a 5-4 decision, and Roberts was in fact the swing vote, and it was sent back to the lower court because they found that the explanation for putting the citizenship question in the census, it was in Roberts' words, contrived. That the Secretary Ross really wasn't straight in justifying it.
Right.
So it was sent back.
I remember that, yes.
And then it kind of went away.
Yes.
So there's no citizenship question.
So again, this is happening, Concerned Citizens, next Tuesday, September 3rd. Clubhouse 7, you are welcome to get there by 6:15, and then the meeting will start at 7 o'clock. Sugarless cookies.
Or sugar cookies.
You have a good point, though. They take all that extra sugar and they put it.
Which is also what happens with decaffeinated coffee, right? Never mind. But we're going to allow extra time for people to get in, get seated. There will be a big crowd, so people should come early.
All right.
Do we need to talk at all more about how the Supreme Court impacts people's lives?
Well, we're just about out of time.
Thank you very much.
But it does. That's for darn sure. Thank you very
much.
Good to see you.
People should know it.
We'll be right back.
At our new Memorial Wave Imaging Center in Laguna Woods, formerly Orange County Diagnostics, you can expect the same precise imaging, multiple modalities for your imaging needs, and the same friendly staff with medical providers like Dr. Syed Shirokni. The Laguna Woods Transportation Service offers convenient access right to our door, and we continue to provide the care and compassion that you expect from our new Wave Laguna Woods location.
This is how we burger, brew, and cue. Pick a town. Arrive hungry, real hungry. Start with a massive burger. Charred, juicy, add bacon, a buttery bun, piled high. Serve it up, wash it down. Creamy, hoppy, fruity, malty. We're not done yet. Q-time, deep fried, sauce soaked, pork ribs, meaty, tender. I'm full. Where to next?
All new Burgers, Brew, and Q. Tuesday at 9. Cooking Channel. Stay fired up.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County, and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Did you know there are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today? So where does a senior or family caregiver go for information and resources? You can turn to the Answers Guide, published by the Council on Aging Southern California. Answers is full of articles and resources to help you navigate the aging experience. You can pick up your free copy today at the clubhouse nearest you or at the Social Services Office. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
Well, I'd like to welcome Selena Anderson from the Ocean Institute. You know, we talked about that somewhat last week, about the wonderful tall ships in Ocean Festival that is happening in just a couple of weeks. So welcome, great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we are going to focus on a few of the activities that go on within the Tall Ships Festival. But first, I mentioned that last week that when Dan was on, that you folks do your own whale watching excursions.
We do.
Which I did not know, and you have more of an educational take on them, right?
Yes, everything we do is very educational, not only for the schools that come here on field trips, but also for the public. So we like to advance that, extend it to the public. So we do a mud grab at the end of the whale watching cruise.
A mud grab?
A mud grab.
What's that?
So they take this device and they send it down into the ocean.
Okay.
And they scoop up sand from the ocean floor and they bring it up and let the kids and whoever else wants to look for the microscopic animals that they may find.
Oh, how cool.
So it's not only for whale watching, it's for the smallest organisms up to the biggest animals we have on Earth.
That is great.
Yeah, so it's everything.
That is fun. And this happens obviously during the week. You have schools that come down, but on the weekends as well?
It's only on the weekends.
Only on the weekends?
Yeah, but you can do a private cruise if you would like, and we can make that happen.
All right, fantastic. Now, we got the tall ships happening, and this is going to be starting September 6th, 7th, and 8th down there, obviously, in Dana Point. And you've got a lot of different activities that go on. I mean, you sent me a schedule. This is a little hard to put on the air, but I mean, it's just dozens of different things.
There's literally something going on every 15 or 30 minutes.
Yeah,
there's so many things. What's really great is that your general admission ticket, it covers pretty much everything as part of the festival. But there are add-ons too. If you're interested in mermaids or pirates, we have experiences for those. And also the cannon battles are...
Yeah, the cannon battles,
yes, they're so popular.
So one of the activities that you're doing is on September 6th and 7th, which is Friday and Saturday in the evening at 6 o'clock, the Sails and Ales Party.
Yes.
And we got the posters of both these things going on. But tell us about that.
So the Sails and Ales event, we have Rod Piazza and the Mighty Flyers coming in on Friday night, and we have Billy Sherman and Friends coming in on that Saturday night. And it's live music. We have 8 different breweries coming in. We have hard kombucha, we have wine, and non-alcoholic options as well. But you get a little cup for your tastings, and you go around to all these different booths, and you fill up your cup, and you enjoy yourself. And there's also mermaid encounters as well. We have swim shows during the Sails and Ales event too. Yeah, and there's food trucks. So it's a really great party.
Now, where will this take place? I know where the Ocean Institute is, but is it right in the parking lot there? You put the food trucks?
So the food trucks typically are out in the parking lot, and then the breweries and all the booths will be inside the Ocean Institute in our little courtyard area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is separate from the regular ticket?
Yeah, so the Sails and Ales is during the evenings.
Okay.
So the general admission ticket gets you into the festival during the day.
Okay.
The festival closes at 4. And then the party starts up again at 6.
All right, so if you want more information on that, of course, just go to the Ocean Institute and online you can find out about that, oceaninstitute.org. Now, one of the guest bands you're going to be having there are the Tijuana Dogs. We kind of know them. I think they've appeared here as well in some of the things we've done.
Very nice. Yeah, they are coming in on Saturday, At 2 p.m. is when their show starts, and it goes until 5. So it extends the festival just a little bit on Saturday, but they are a great group. They really bring high energy into the crowd. They're very fun.
So that'll be a lot of fun, and they're going to be, where's the stage that they perform on?
So the stage is going to be in by Baby Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, so everybody will get a Ocean Institute Festival, the Tall Ships event guide.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see this, but this is the event guide you get. And as you open it up, there is a map on the inside. So everyone will get one of these, and we have the performance stage kind of highlighted.
Okay, very good. Let me ask you again about the tickets. Now, because I think I've gone in the past, and I might be wrong, where you can walk around the area without a ticket. Is that true?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are certain areas where anybody from the public can join in.
Okay.
The ticketed area, is the Seafarers Landing, which is kind of one of our beer gardens area. And then that's also where we have our educational activities and exhibits going on. But the food trucks, you don't have to have a ticket to go through there.
Okay.
Everyone likes their food.
And again, all the different stuff that goes on. Now, one of them, the mermaid breakfast, and that would be all 3 days?
Just Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, so the mermaid breakfast, that sells out every year.
Yes, I know it does, yeah.
and even you can add on a little plush mermaid doll. You can get a little purse, and you can get a necklace.
Now, if people go online, they can get these tickets online and then put these add-ons as well?
Yeah,
okay.
So as you purchase your ticket, you do want to select that add-on, so we make sure you do get that extra package.
Okay, especially for the mermaid breakfast, because I know that, like you said. But it's a lot of fun, and there's so many different activities, and there's also different booths throughout the area that people go to, different people that come in, crafts and things like that.
Exactly, we have woodworking coming in, there's knot tying, you can learn all about that. One of the other activities that you can do is the pirate school, which is really great for kids of boys and girls who love pirates. You learn all about being a pirate.
Yeah. Who doesn't like that? Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. So again, this is happening the 6th, 7th, and 8th down at Dana Point, of course, at the Ocean Institute. You can go online, and I would suggest it, especially if you want some of these add-ons, because they go quickly.
They really do. And this year we are actually adding on long boat rowing, which is something we haven't done before. And that's every add-on: the mermaid mermaid encounters, the swim shows, the pirate school, and the longboat rowing. It's only an additional $10.
Okay. One thing I do want to point out before I forget is the parking. They do have off-site parking. You can find out about that online as well, and they have free shuttles coming down.
That's right. So if you want to, I would recommend parking in the Strands Vista parking lot, because that gets you into the festival Friday night. And they run the longest Saturday and Sunday. Okay. But there's also satellite parking at Dana Hills High School.
All right, very good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
you coming on.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village television. Grease for peace.
Thank you for joining us. Today I have Dr. John Cruz, who's with RadNet, and today we're going to talk about musculoskeletal imaging. Welcome, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much, Lisa. Thanks for inviting me.
So musculoskeletal imaging, what is that?
That's imaging of the bones, which is the skeletal part, as well as the muscles and the tendons associated with the muscles throughout the body.
And is it specific to one area of the body, or you can do it the entire body?
And it's really the entire body.
Okay.
So it's basically any part of the body that's involved with the skeleton or anything that moves the skeleton.
Is it just one part of the body, or is it the entire body?
No, it's really the entire body. It's all of the bones and anything associated with the bones that moves the bones.
Okay. And then what type of equipment is used for this kind of imaging?
Well, traditionally, X-rays were used extensively in looking at the bones. and the joints which are associated with the bones. But what we found out more recently is that the ultrasound is very good for the soft tissues, but it's not great for the bones. CT came along a couple of decades ago. It gives us much higher resolution, but it basically gives us similar information to X-rays because it uses X-rays. But the real breakthrough in musculoskeletal imaging occurred about 15 to 20 years ago, when MRI started being used to look at the musculoskeletal system, and that's really our mainstay right now for evaluating the musculoskeletal system.
So someone would not have to have an X-ray first and then an MRI, or do you just go straight to the MRI?
It depends upon the information you're after. Many people will get X-rays first. A lot of physicians are familiar with looking at the X-rays themselves, so they like them. Some insurance companies think that they might be able to delay getting an MR scan by getting X-rays first. But X-rays really don't give us the kind of information that an MR gives us. So if what we want to know has to do with the joints and the insides of the joints, what's called internal derangement, then X-rays really don't help very much there, and it's best just to go straight to an MRI and not waste the money on other technologies that won't give us the right answer.
So for instance, if someone was to break their leg, you could easily see that in an X-ray, but what else would you be searching for with the MRI?
Yeah. If you're looking at a standard broken leg, you don't need an MR scan, because you can see the break in the bone very nicely with X-rays. The issue, however, is that there are many injuries of the bone which are not severe enough to actually produce a break that can be seen on an X-ray, but still cause pain. We call them trabecular bone injuries. They're actually much more common than a regular fracture. And those you can't see by X-ray. And if there's a concern about why the person is having ongoing pain, then an MR scan may be helpful in that setting.
Okay, great. And then what advances are you seeing in this field?
Of MRI?
Yes.
Well, 20 years ago, people said that MRI could not be used for the musculoskeletal system because it couldn't see bone very well, and we've come a long way since then. Right now, there are many different ways to do an MR. It's not like an X-ray where you shoot an X-ray beam through the body and you detect it on the other side. There are literally thousands of ways to do different MR scans. And there's still a lot of research being done as to what techniques are best in different clinical settings. That's still a very active area of investigation. Currently, they're using very sophisticated techniques to actually image nerves and to see if the nerves are functioning properly. And it looks like that's going to be a much better technique than what we used to use, which were EMGs, which are not very sophisticated instruments to look at nerve function. So that's one of the most recent hot topics in investigation of MRI in the musculoskeletal system.
Would it be conducted in the same manner that an MRI is today?
It's conducted in the same manner as far as the patient is concerned. They lie in the scanner, they're positioned in the scanner. The way the actual data is acquired from them is, though, much more sophisticated. It allows us to actually see directional flow of the molecules inside of a nerve, which is what's required for functioning. And we could not do that in the past.
That's amazing. What do you see coming down the pike?
You know, another area that's an active research, and I think there's going to be a lot more on this in the future, is to understand what injuries of the musculoskeletal system are really important and cause pain and what don't. For a long time we thought that meniscal tears all needed to be operated on. We now know that most meniscal tears aren't, and MRI has helped us understand which tears need surgery and which don't. So I think coming down the pike, we'll become much more sophisticated at directing what kind of treatment occurs, not just making a diagnosis.
Sounds a lot like precision medicine.
I think that it's right along the line of precision medicine. Usually when people talk about precision medicine, they're talking about basically genetics and DNA. But there's a lot that we can do in MR in the musculoskeletal system that can tailor individual studies to individuals and determine the appropriate way to manage them.
Sounds excellent. Well, thank you so much for the information.
Certainly.
And remember, if you would like more information about what we just discussed, you can go to radnet.com.
#1 choice for wood flooring and more.
#1 for you.
Welcome back. Well, our movie today is a good one if you are a fan of the Marvel Universe. This is Avengers Endgame. This came out earlier this year, and this really culminates what they call the first 3 phases of the Marvel movies that have been going on now for about 10 years. And in this one, after devastating events of Avengers Infinity War, which the movie that came out last year, the universe is in ruins, and with the help of the remaining allies, the Avengers assemble once more to reverse Thanos' actions and restore the balance to the universe. This is a movie you got to kind of follow because it goes back in time and then forward in time, and it can get a little complicated. And it's a long movie. It's 3 hours, but like I said, if you've been following all the Marvel movies, this is a really good one. So this will be today at 2 o'clock and then at 6 o'clock. And because it's 3 hours and 1 minute, that means that the replay of this day will start at like 5:01 or something like that. So just to let you know. And then that also means that the 6 o'clock movie will be about 6:01. So just so you know, these movies are long, so it kind of pushes things back by just a bit. Now, our movie on Friday, this is a great documentary called Between Land and Sea, and it introduces the audience to the surfing world on the wild Atlantic coast of West Ireland. Filmed in and around Laguna County Clare, near the spectacular cliffs of Moher, the film shows how Ireland has become a prime surfing location. This looks really good, and this will be our Friday movie. I didn't even realize how surfing was that big in Ireland. I bet it's cold most of the time. You need that wetsuit, right? So that'll be on Friday, and a good movie. That will be just an hour, almost an hour and a half, so pretty short movie. All right, our weather, again, humid today. We're getting that subtropical system that has moved into our area, so you're going to get some scattered high clouds throughout the day. Humidity is going to be a little bit on the high side and warm as well. About 85 today as we go forward, going to dip down a little bit, and then it'll go right back up again on Friday, and the Labor Day weekend will probably be pretty warm as well. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.